I'm gonna make this short and sweet. Short and sweet. Um, During this pandemic, I'm not even gonna say one, wave two, wave three, because it's just one wave. If people would have been, if we had more people in the world that were smart, that had any type of common sense, we would have been out of this. We would have been out of it. If everybody would have just sat tight for a whole year, whole 2 years, we would have been out of it. But no, this is going to drag on because we have too many stupid ass people in this world. Now, unemployment. I've been hearing about unemployment, this and that, blah blah blah. People are quitting because unemployment is giving out so much money. That's bullshit. That is a lie. That is a complete lie. Even when the federal money was going on, you still had a lot of people. I have friends and family that had to take unemployment, and they were still not getting anything close to what they were making. Anything close to what they were making. So I don't want to hear that. Now, today is January 12th, 2022. People are still quitting. People have been quitting before and during the federal. And the federal was just adding more money on top of the local of what they were giving for unemployment. So that's not the problem. They were not giving too much money. Or that's a lie. It's a bull-faced lie. People seen an opportunity to make a change and they took it because they realized that, and some of them already knew this, but there's a tipping point that their companies do not care about them at all. Like I said, today is January 12th, 2022. Just last week, I seen 3 employees on the news die for their company. And I bet you that company won't pay out to their families. I bet you those companies won't do anything for those people. Or if they do something, it's going to be below bare minimum. One was a some type of chicken restaurant employee or fast food restaurant employee. Another one was a Taco Bell employee. Another one was a Burger King employee. Now, that's just what I've heard and seen on the news. Now, I'm pretty sure there are more people. And people have been dying and getting hurt for their companies for years and years and years, and these companies do not care about them. But right now, it's really on the spotlight. So this is why people are quitting. I have a family member that was a very loyal employee. Every time there was overtime or anything needed, that person did it. That person was receiving, and this person has awards from their company, awards, bonuses, tons of overtime. But when this employee was hit by a drunk driver on the job, that employer cut them off. That employer lied. That employer took someone else's time information and submitted it as if it was hers, because they didn't want to show how much this person was making. And it was a much different time, so it wasn't it was back in I guess the early 1980s or so, about 1980s or so. So things were a little bit different. This boy had 2 kids and had a kid after the accident. So when the accident occurred, it took about 8 to 10 years for them to receive any type of money because the company wanted to fight it. And then once she finally started receiving something, the kids only, I don't know the details. I just know some of the portion, but one kid was only getting like 20 something cents a month basically, and another kid was only getting like 48 cents a month. And then once this person had a kid after the accident, years and years later, they doubled down. Now, before the kid, what they would do is send investigators to follow. Once this person had a kid after, they doubled down. There was investigators at the hospital. There was investigators following the family. There was so many things that this company did to that person that was so unfair and so unnecessary. This person is paralyzed from the waist down. There's no faking that. No faking that at all. Now, I'm pretty sure there's other stories, but that's just one that I know of. The problem is these companies are not showing their employees any loyalty, any respect, any flexibility, any love. There's a lot of things that these companies aren't showing. There's a lot of things that people are tired of seeing or dealing with. And discrimination. In Florida, Texas, California, a few other states that I know about, I have friends and family that live in. They're telling me, I'm hearing so many different stories. I'm hearing my overqualified black and other friends telling me that they can't even get a job that they're way qualified for, or even qualified for, or even overqualified for. I'm having my Cuban friends telling me that they're getting jobs that they are underqualified for. I'm getting my Brazilian, my Puerto Rican friends and family telling me, and Colombian friends and family telling me, they are getting to the interview, but once the interview occurs, they're not getting the job. My black friends tell me they can't even get an interview. My Cuban friend, again, they're telling me they're getting jobs that they're overqualified for, or that they're qualified for. And I'm hearing this mostly from Florida, and California. My white friends, they're finally feeling a little some type of way. So it's not that there's all these job openings, because number one, if there's so many job openings and you need to fill all these positions, then hire people that are qualified, overqualified, even hire them. But you're not, especially in Miami, Florida. Oh my goodness, it's horrible. I was just down there. Almost every store I went to. Not many stores, but I would say I did go into Target. I tried to ask an employee for some help. When I started speaking English, she looked at me. She was like, "You don't speak Espanol? No, no. Oh, papi, you're in Miami." And then I started speaking a little Spanish. But my thing is, all these positions, especially in Florida, California, Texas, where else? Not Wyoming. Is it Montana? No, not Montana. Is it Tennessee? I think around Tennessee, somewhere. That's the heart of the issue. When you go onto these sites, because I went to go look on these sites, because once my friends and family telling me all this stuff, I was curious. I went on LinkedIn. I looked in Indeed. What I mostly seen is Spanish speakers. A lot of them, a few of them it said mandatory, but it was more like someone just typed it in there. Well, not mandatory, required. And in a few of them it said Spanish is a plus. Now, I don't give a damn. You tell me I'm racist because I'm about to say this. Because it's not. It's just a reality. We live in Miami. We live in, not Miami, I'm sorry. We live in the U.S. The U.S. is what? Yes, they say that there's no native language. But in reality, there is. Because there was natives here before. And natives had their language. So yes, there is a native language. But the overall language in the United States is English. So why isn't English required? If you go on these sites and you look, you don't see English required, English is a must. It's Spanish. And that's what these people are hiring off of. And a lot of these people are taking it further because they only want Cuban workers. So that's why there's so many job openings on this same news channel today that I was watching. It's not even a news channel. It was actually on YouTube. They were saying there was over 300 some thousand construction jobs available, and then another story I heard a long time ago that there was like 50 some thousand construction jobs open, and in Florida. It was when I was in Florida. I left Florida a few weeks ago. I was there for like a month or so. Well, for the holidays basically. And during my time there, I drove. I drove from our property in one of our properties in West Palm. I drove to a few other properties just to check them out, and then I drove all the way down to Key West. Almost every lot, there was some type of construction. If there wasn't some type of construction, there was new construction that was just completed. So they're trying to make it seem like there's so much more jobs open. In reality, there isn't. Now, there is jobs open, but again, they only want certain workers. There's so much more I want to say about this topic, but what we're hearing and what we're seeing, it's a lie. It's a painted picture of bullcrap, literally. So again, if you want employees, show some loyalty, show some love, show some respect, show some flexibility. Don't take take advantage of them, and stop discriminating. It is simple. Again, I was just here. I was taking just there in Miami. I was taking I guess the I was around the transit, whatever the name of their transit is. I was taking their transit, just going around the city, and I came across this guy. He told me that it's a Mexican guy. He said he came all the way down here from Texas a long time ago to work on the Keys. It was a construction job. Once he got here, all of a sudden the job wasn't available. So he was sort of been stranded here for months. He asked to use my phone. I let him use my phone. I gave him some money, and he was telling me, man, it's in broken English, but he was telling me, man, it's horrible. It's like all they want is the Cuban workers here. I show up on job sites, and they told me there's no work, or they don't get them, when he just seen a sign or some type of availability. And it's sad. It's true. It is true, man. And that's why I really had to make this, because it's just downright ridiculous. Just ridiculous.